Hello, I'm Mark Hopkins. I'm shop craftsman and project builder at the magazine. So today I'm going to give you a demonstration on a router table jig that I came up with for cutting circles. A lot of the time when I'm building projects, the designers like to design me parts that have lots of curves and circles in. As you see here, this was a leg on a day bed that's coming up in a magazine issue in the near future. So the problem with this is you need to make a jig to make a jig. So it's okay cutting this out on a bandsaw, but you still need to make the radiuses real tight and real smooth. And you can use a sander to do that, but it's never going to be perfectly accurate. So your piece that you're making for your project is only as good as the template that you make for it. So this is why I came up with this router table jig for cutting circles. So let's backtrack a minute. You can cut circles with using a handheld router and with a jig. You can cut circles on a table saw. You can cut circles on a bandsaw. There's lots of different methods on cutting circles. But I wanted to do something a little bit different and make a router table jig for cutting circles. It's a pretty simple piece. It's just a board that has the option to slide on your router table. Now every router table is going to be different, so this is specific to my router table. It's just Baltic birch plywood with some stops on the ends. It just gives it that smooth movement backwards and forwards. In the middle here, I've got some aluminium that's been recessed into the wood so it makes it nice and flush with 1/4 inch holes in inch increments. And these are for the actual pin that will go into these locations to lock it in there. Okay, so you've got a guard here. Also have a guard there for safety. Stop the wood from flying everywhere. And like I said, everyone's going to have a different router table, so this is specific for mine with a location to adjust the height of the router bit. Okay, so what I want to do here, I want to cut an 8-inch diameter circle. So first of all, what I'm going to do, I'm going to locate the middle of that circle and then drill a 1/4 inch hole and then go over to my bandsaw and then rough cut the edge. So within an 1/8 or a 1/16 of the line. And then I'm going to put my pin in here and then locate it. First of all, I'm going to get the right pin location on my board. So for an 8-inch diameter circle, I want a 4-inch radius. So I'll locate on the edge of the blade, on the edge of the bit, to the center of my hole is 4 inches. And this is what's good about using your fence. You can use your fence as a stop for your board, so you don't go past the measurement or go deeper into the circle. So that acts as a good stop. Okay, so now I want to pull my table away from the bit and locate my 4-inch hole. Okay, there we go. Now we're locked in place. Now as you can see, I've got my stop there and it's hitting the blade. I've got a 1/8 inch to go before I hit my line that I've marked out previously. So I'll come away a little bit and I'm ready to start the machine up. Okay, as you see, this will give you the perfect circle. For past projects, I've made a cutting board, and obviously you can't put a hole in a cutting board, so what I did, I created, using the same method, a turntable with the pin location. So you make your turntable first, then you double side tape for this example, the cutting board on top of your turntable, and then you can locate the exact distance that you need to be from the router bit to get your perfect circle. Then do the same method as before and just keep turning it until you get your circle achieved. What's cool about this particular setup is I can do a juice groove in the underside of that by doing the same process. It's just a rounded over bit that I use for this particular project. And then if you wanted to put a profile on, I know you can take this whole table off and put a profile on the edge of something with a bit with a bearing on, and you could just follow that around. But if you've got a bit that doesn't have a bearing and you want to put a real cool looking profile on the edge of it, you can do the same thing. For this, for example, change the bit out and then just locate your pin and then just turn the board around. So you've got a different profile on the edge. That concludes my demonstration of the router table circle cutting jig. If you want plans for this, go on to woodsmith.com. Thanks for joining me.